for some reason we were drawn to each other. She turned to me and introduced herself, which I found attractive, that she was not afraid. And after seeing each other several times, we started to tell our story about our lives. And she shared hers with me. And what she had overcome was tremendous health issues, events in her life that would turn the normal person against God and everything else. But instead, she turned toward God. And while she was laying motionless on her bed, tried everything. Doctors were telling her she was going to die at any time. She had spent an untold amount of money trying to get well. Nothing worked. She finally gave up. And she laid in bed one night and she said to God, "I'm ready to go. I can't take this pain anymore." She turned to some natural medicines. And in that, she started to get better. God wasn't going to let her go. And she got stronger. Well, in a period of over 7 years, she hadn't been out very much. She didn't have the strength that she used to have. But she recovered. And she's getting stronger every day. She told me about the church that she went to and the story of how she'd recovered. And I was pretty touched by that. And I started to feel that maybe there was some good going on out there. So one day we talked about going to church. And she said, "Why don't we go to my church and see what you think?" Well, she was from a very religious Baptist family in Pennsylvania and had joined a Naples Baptist church. And we went to one of her services. And while there was many people there, the congregation was so large, I didn't feel close to the church. Now remember, I told you this was how I got to be with St. John's. Well, she agreed to find an Episcopal church with me, since that's where I'd been brought up. And we were driving around one day and we saw St. John's and we said, "That's the church we should try." And after one service, we felt close. And this congregation is so warm and friendly to us. Something as late as last night, we were out for dinner and two couples from St. John's were in the same restaurant. Came up and said hello. It's amazing how God works through these things, but the rest of this story is what I'm here telling you about today. As we joined St. John's about 6 months ago now, our lives have been touched in many ways already. From the sermons to the warmth of fellowship, that it stirred me to start to believe deeply in the Spirit of God and the faith that I had. But what really happened was last month. My aunt passed away. And as my mother had passed away, my sister-in-law had passed away, and the most religious people in my family were gone, my faith was being rekindled by my angel, Lisa. But this event put me right over the edge. As I attended the funeral with my brother, very tainted still, because now he was losing another family member, and my uncle, who was Episcopalian, but really wasn't very religious and didn't practice very much of his faith, comes up to me in the funeral and tells me, "I have something to tell you." He said, "Let me tell you what happened before Ann died. I was sleeping in my bed and out like a light, deep sleep. And for some reason, all I could hear was somebody yelling at me. And my uncle's name is Jim, just like mine. And he said, the voice said, 'Get up, Ann needs you.' And he was groggy and not sure, and he tried to go back to sleep. And then again, 'Jim, get up, Ann needs you.' Well, he woke, and he got up, and he looked, and his wife wasn't around him. She apparently got up and gone downstairs to the kitchen, and he went to find her, and as he got to the stairs, and it was an old-fashioned staircase where it had a landing, standing on the landing was my mother. And my mother had said to him, "Jim, Ann needs you." So he started going down the stairs, and all of a sudden my mother was gone. He got to the bottom of the stairs, and there was Ann laying on the floor. She had fallen, hit her head, and she was rushed to the hospital. And on the way to the hospital, she kept saying to Jim, "Don't worry, it's all going to be okay." She passed away the next day. At the funeral, he came and he said, "I wanted to tell you this story. I don't know why I didn't tell anybody else, but I'm supposed to tell you." At that time, we told my brother, and his only child left, because he lost another daughter to cancer in her 40s. And we were all brought together at that moment on our aunt's death to believe that there is a place where we're all going to meet. And I think it showed true love, and God sent me the message that it was going to be okay through my mother. And I think all of us are touched at some point in our lives. Mine was recent, and I'm blessed to be here at St. John's, and the love that I feel is very strong. And I hope that this story will mean something to you.